Shay the Deathless, a legendary villain from Slavic folklore, hid his death inside a needle sealed within an egg, a duck, a hare, an iron chest, and finally buried beneath a great oak on the mythical island of Buyan.
Okay.
Only by finding the needle and breaking it could a hero finally defeat the seemingly immortal sorcerer. If you could hide one weakness where no one could ever find it, would you? And what do you think the consequences would be?
No, I'd hide it and no consequences because nobody would know about it.
You know, it's so funny you say that because I think in the very first Superman movie, someone can correct me on this with Christopher Reeve, I think he made that mistake when he was finally talking to Lois Lane. He said, well, yeah.
Is there anything better than a trip getting ready? Nope. For a long journey where our podcast released a new epi, searching for a fade fiend, new fixation. Giving this a subscribe is the same sensation. Started with the day ones, they gave us fuel to support the season. Could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here for a reason. Notification bells, text some friends, all to let you know. Check your Bluetooth, connect, talking wisdom.
Welcome in, everyone. This episode, Polly-Preseason and pocket-sized predictions with our guest, Polly Pockets. What's up, Polly?
Let's go. Let's get ready for the new season, whatever that may be.
I know it's the NFL preseason, so that's got people feeling a certain kind of way. The kids are going back to school, so maybe I'll ask you a couple of preseason predictions, maybe or maybe not. We'll see. There's a lot of topics we're going to get to, though.
It's also pre-fall season, pre-Halloween and Christmas season, basically.
Wait. Hold on, Polly. Have you seen any pumpkin spice references? Any Christmas commercials? Any of that?
I've heard one Christmas commercial, and then I've seen the coming soon pumpkin spice, and I already see Halloween candy. The moment, I think that happened the moment 4th of July was over. We just rolled right. We skipped back to school and we just went straight to Halloween.
Yes.
And now it's not the end of like back to school shopping. It's get ready for Halloween. I'm like, what are we getting ready for? It's just candy and costumes. What else am I doing? So not really looking forward to fall. Although I think the weather got the memo and the mornings are a little cooler. Not cold, but cooler. And I'm like, it's still mid-August. What are we doing over here? So that's why I said it's a lot of pre-seasons.
Yeah. No, I haven't noticed the weather, and I'm glad. Don't ruin my vibe, Polly. We're gonna skip that small talk. I don't want to talk no weather with you because you're starting to bring me down. So you're gonna take summer away from me, and it's still summer for me. I'm an East Coast dude. I know you West Coast, but back East, like summer rolls all the way until like Labor Day, because back then we used to start school on Labor Day.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it, Polly. No matter your weather report, that's how I see it.
Let's go. Let's do this then.
A Porter Airlines flight from Victoria to Toronto was canceled after a frightened child couldn't remain seated and buckled for takeoff, forcing the plane back to the terminal and delaying departure past the airport's nightly runway closure. Passengers were rebooked the next day after the parent and child were removed from the flight. Polly, what does this incident reveal about how airlines should handle in-flight emergencies involving young children?
I mean, you already left, so it's like, okay, can we just get this journey on? But then, it's an inconvenience, because if I was listening to the other parent, I'd be like, man, we all have those days. But at the same time, if I'm trying to get somewhere, I'm also mad because of you not being able to do anything about your child, my life is now ruined. Airline delay, plane malfunction, which I think happens way too much nowadays. That weather, okay, fine, I'll take it. But I had a passenger who couldn't control her other passenger, man, that's just bad. But I mean, what else is an airline supposed to do? Granted, though, right? Sometimes they're like, please keep your seatbelt on. I'm like, why do I have to keep the whole seatbelt on the whole time? There's no turbulence. At this point, I think they just are defaulting, just keep your seatbelt on. I'm like, if something happens and my seatbelt isn't on, I don't think at this point it's a seatbelt that's going to help me.
Yeah.
Just like when we're at buses, who cares about seatbelts? But we're in anything smaller, let's get our seatbelts on. How is me being like a bus is going to roll over a lot more likely than a plane, I think. So it's just like, I get it. They have their safety precautions, but man, if at that point, just keep it moving. If the child's quiet without the seatbelt, let's just go. Let's just go.
Yo, Polly, this brings me to two things. First of all, you should know your kid. I don't care if it's your first flight. You know if you can control your kid or not.
Yeah.
I think it's very irresponsible because no matter what you're doing with your kid, it ain't working. The flight never took off. It got canceled. No. But it was going to get canceled anyway because now you got to turn around, get them off. You got to go find their bags, right? And that's going to take forever. But at least we could still leave. But passengers were rebooked the next day. And so they left. So now people got to go stay in hotels. Hopefully the airline took care of it. So the parents out there, you got to count to 10 for your kid, and then you got to reverse count, and you got to tell them that you were back to count. Y'all got to get your stuff together. What are you teaching your kid? I'm standing out here on this corner, Polly, and I'm ready to say it. Control your kid because your kid is controlling the rest of us. That's irresponsible. And you know you can't do nothing for the rest of us. You saying I'm sorry, or you trying to be that perfect little parent that I don't discipline, I don't raise my voice at the kid. You just messed up the rest of us because of your parenting choices. Yeah. It makes me mad, Polly. Mad.
I know. I think people think that their kids can do whatever and it's gonna be okay, but it's not. It's really annoying. Like I had to go to a bathroom with a kid, not mine, yelling uncontrollably, crying, and the mom couldn't calm this child down, and it was just like 10 minutes, and I'm just over here like, can we like either get out of the bathroom? Like, what are we doing over here? Why are you here? And then finally she was able to talk to the child and like calm him down or found something. I was like, but you just spent like 10 minutes, and like, don't be in this venue then, go home. Like, and then how do you get people from not staring at you? I'm like, oh, sorry. Like, okay, my kid isn't uncontrollably crying.
With people, the very first time you want an action to happen, that is not the time to start something that you have not prepared your child for. Yes, that could be your first flight with the child, but I think you knew how your kid handles pain. Their ears pop, you know? How do your kid handle themselves when they're afraid? Like, you got to factor all that in. When you just blindly, selfishly just say, oh, I got to go somewhere, I don't want to drive, so I'm going to fly, but you did no preparation, you don't messed us all up. Polly, I probably lost some subscribers today. I got to keep it real. I'm telling you, that's how I feel. Yeah. Which doesn't mean nothing, because those people are still going to be out there. There's always going to be irresponsible people. There's always going to be people who say, oh, I can handle it, and they can't handle it. And we all know they can't. That's why we all staring, either sucking our teeth or mumbling to ourselves, man, if that was my kid. I mean, it happens. It's going to keep happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to talk about celebrities, big wigs, and what they do. I want to see how you feel.
Let's do it.
Chris Evans and Tom Holland drew heavy criticism for charging $350 to $495 for brief photo ops and autographs at Ace Comic-Con, raising concerns about how costly it has become for everyday fans to meet their favorite stars. These sky-high prices highlight a growing debate about accessibility and whether fan experiences are becoming financially out of reach. What do you think this trend says about the future of fan culture and celebrity meet and greets?
I don't think why we have to accommodate fans any more than we have to do other people. So like at the end of the day, right, this person makes X amount of money, and so their time is, if they decide it's worth $395 for 5 minutes, then that's how much his time's worth. Like, why do fans feel entitled that celebrities need to spend every moment with them? Because a person can have so many fans that they don't have enough time to meet every fan. And what's reasonable to spend a minute or 5? So if if you as a fan want to pay $395 to meet someone, that's your problem. Just like there's many people, the way they spend their money, I don't agree with how they spend their money, right? They want to say, well, I want to be VIP for these experiences. I need to have these seats for the Knicks game, even though I'm not a diehard fan. I just want to do what everyone else is. I can't afford the latest iPhone, but I need to have it, even though I can barely afford rent. Okay. So the same people. So why should Tom Holland, if, maybe he wants a day off, like, that's other thing. People are like, oh, they should do this for me. They should do this for me. Like, do you know how many hours it take to film all the films that he was in? Fine. Yes, they get compensated a lot. At this point, that's a different debate. If you think they deserve that much money or not. But still, so if I have just made X amount of money, and for the past 2 years, I didn't get any breaks. The movie's done. And maybe I'm finally having like a lull, but even still, I have a lull from filming, but not from promotions. Because even if the Odyssey and the Spider-Man were done filming 9 months ago, I still have to answer the same questions, say the same lines for the next year or however long their marketing tour is. That's annoying. I don't even like responding to the same thing 3 times from kids or someone who's trying to ask me the same question because they didn't listen to what I said the first time. So that's annoying. And so for people to be like, well, these people might not even care about Comic-Con and half the events that they forced to attend, right? I mean, that's why we have different Spider-Mans. Didn't the first Spider-Man just say, you know what? I'm good. This lifestyle is not for me. And we just have to respect that. So again, for fans to be upset about fan experience, it's not think about how many fans there are and how many of them there are and how they can't do anything without eyes on them. So yeah, again, if I was in their position and somebody wanted to pay me $700 for 5 minutes of my time, I'm taking that $700. If my agent said, hey, this is what it should go for, maybe I'll say, let's do $500 instead. Fine. But if I have to pay a promoter, because that's the other thing, you have to pay promoters, you have to pay your agent. So at the end of the day, that $395 that he's charging, he may only get $50 from it at the end of the day because of everybody else he has to pay. So
pay the cost of the boss.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for the fans.
Fee, and this shortens the line because if it was free, then everybody's there. Yeah. And it's picture, and then we got to get this guy out. We got to get your move. All right, next picture, and the line would be out the door. You got to have a cost. That is the door. That's the bouncer at the door. That's gonna let people in or shut them joints and keep people out. So it's worth it. By the way, they make more than you, so of course the costs are gonna be a little more inflated. Exactly. Yo, if you only work $37 an hour at work, there's your work. If you're wondering what is my time worth, it's whatever you make per hour. Just start there, and they make more than you. They might be taking it easier on you because if it was $350 to $495 for the photo ops, that means they're probably splitting it. I don't know if it was $350 for him, $350 for him, but if it was just right here and you get it for both of them, man, you're still getting out free. Because I think Chris Brown was charging $1,000 and he was home wrecking with that because them girls was selling out to take that $1,000 photo.
That's not his fault. Again, if he's a celebrity, he's a commodity that people want. He's not home wrecking anyone. That's for the women who are home wrecking their own relationship or their insecure spouse who doesn't get like, oh, she's obsessed with Chris Brown and she's willing to pay $1,000. And there's probably going to be some provocative photos because if I spent $1,000 to take a picture with someone, I think I can do whatever I want within a certain, the reason, right? So he's not home wrecking anything. All right. We're not Chris Brown, Usher. They're not home wrecking anything. Right.
No,
anyone on that DTF playlist is not home wrecking anything or being the cause of baby making music does not cause babies. That is not, you're not going to seek it. You're not going to seek, child support because of the music.
No.
That was your decision.
Yeah.
So you reckon your
own. A real tangible person that was either near you or at some point with you that you can get that child support from.
Yeah, because we love to blame people very quickly for our own mistakes. Okay, own up.
When's the last time you had to go to the doctor to get a routine thing done? Was it recently?
Yeah, within the last 6 months, I had some routine.
Oh, okay. Well, I haven't had to in a while. Not looking forward to a routine checkup. Check this out.
You haven't gotten like a routine cleaning? Ooh.
A routine colonoscopy turned explosive in 2013 when a Virginia man accidentally recorded his anesthesiologist mocking him while he was unconscious, leading to a jury awarding him $500,000 in damages. The forgotten recording became a rare glimpse into what happens when trust in the exam room breaks.
No.
What does this case reveal about the hidden power dynamics between patients and medical professionals?
I want to talk about first that the anesthesiologist and the practice should have sued that patient for videotaping, because I'm pretty sure when you're at the doctor's office, it always says no photography or videotaping permitted. So
I just want to jump in. I believe under Virginia law, it is allowed for a one-way recording, and there is an exact term. Y'all can get at us in the comments to help us with this, but there was an exact term that allows, because you always hear on TV that you have to have consent, but it's allowed for. When I was reading this, it was mentioned in the article. It eludes me right now because I had to shrink it for timeliness, but I believe it is allowed, Polly, which another reason why this wasn't the recording was admissible in court and was not thrown out.
So how much did he get? Did he get his $5,000 or he got more?
$500,000 in damages. That's
excessive. So first of all, the anesthesiologist, as a member of a professional organization, probably went through some ethics training, right? How to talk to patients, what to do, how to have bedside manner. So that's he should have known better. But from the other perspective, do we not all talk about people when they're asleep or passed out? About that drunk person at a party?
Polly, this anesthesiologist was in there trying to be Eddie Murphy. They was talking about, oh man, I'm so glad this kicked in because I needed to shut him up myself. He was asking too many questions and blah blah blah. Like, and everyone's, all the nurses, other nurses, and people in the room were just laughing it up. And so that's why, because he accidentally left his cell phone on record.
No, he intentionally left his cell phone on record. Nobody leaves their cell phone accidentally on record.
No. Sometimes when I go to the doc, I record so I can play that back for the wife, and she got to ask me no question. She can hear the whole thing.
Okay, whatever. Maybe the anesthesiologist knew he wasn't good at his job and was trying to practice for a backup career in comedy. Okay. I think both were wrong, and I think $500,000 is excessive. Okay, because now what that's going to say is like, oh well, let me accidentally leave my phone, and that way. Plus, don't they give you your personal belongings? You put them in a bag, and then don't they like? I guess they do keep it, but yeah, they don't. I guess they don't check for, hey, is your cell phone off? But I don't know. All I know is they always want to shut me up just because I look like I'm freaking out, and so they're like, "This is gonna. What's your favorite alcohol? Oh, I like this. All right, it's gonna taste like this. Here you go to calm the nerves." My nerves are calm. I just want to get this over with and move on to the next thing. But I guess they just try to shut me up too. I wonder what they say about me.
Yep. You're one of them.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yo, Polly.
$500,000 though. So send it my way. I'll drop my Venmo.
Being a social media influencer is officially a major at Arizona State University.
Yes.
How many parents freaked out? How many students found out that the parents are not for them when this came out? Because I guarantee you there were a lot of parents who was like, hail to the nah.
I feel like millennial parents should be the last, because some might be in that. I think some could theoretically have people that age, right? So millennial parents, first of all, should be the last people freaking out, because in their minds, they're like, damn, I wish I could have done that in college and got a degree. Okay, first of all. So millennials, that better not be you complaining if your kids are of that age. Second of all, listen, if the parent is co-signing on loans, I think they're entitled to feel some type of way. But at the end of the day, you're giving them money, and hopefully you had a conversation if you said this is your choice on what you want to do. But if that child is willing to take on their own personal loans or finance it that way, and they're not going to ask you for anything, yeah, just, or even if they're living in your house, just charge them some nominal rent, keep it moving. That is their decision. And when they graduate, it will either be a great decision or a decision they will regret, because there's a lot of people out there with that computer science degree, that chemistry degree, okay, who are not using it to this day. So you thought it was going to help you out, but you went to be a biochem major. Now all you're doing is like an office assistant and for somebody else. That's the same thing right there.
Hurricane Katrina's landfall on August 29th, 2005 left thousands stranded in New Orleans as unused evacuation buses sat idle, even though the city had a plan to deploy them. In the chaos, 20-year-old Jabbar Gibson commandeered a school bus and drove 70 people to safety where no one else would. What responsibility do ordinary people have to step up when institutions fail?
No responsibility. I mean, that's a legit why do you expect me to do something when there's an organization established for that who gets training and resources? But that's for him stepping up. That's good on him for thinking about others and caring about himself, or caring about others but then himself. But if there was an unused bus and I knew how to drive a bus, I'm not driving it.
Polly?
Yes.
The brother stole a bus and then pulled up and said, "Hey, y'all want to ride?" So because we got his name, if the brother was about to get arrested, what say you then?
The saving the lives outweighs the stealing of a bus, the buses that were not going to be used. And you said they were for evacuation purposes anyway?
Yes.
I mean, questions, why were they unused? Do we not have enough people? We always have extreme or dire circumstances. I think that is okay. Nobody was going to use that bus. Trust me. No kids or travelers or tourists were going to use it for their intended purposes that day. They were okay. But he was able to get 70 people to safety, right? So, like, facts. Like, I don't care if he stole a bus. Did he damage it? He probably damaged it less than the hurricane would have.
Polly said, nobody standing on the side of the road was harmed in the making of Jabbar Gibson's flight exodus. Nah, I'm proud of the young man. I'm embarrassed now because I want to ask myself, back in 2005, would I have known how to like you see on TV, you got a hot wire the joint to go. Like I would have felt bad. I was like, yo, Jabbar, what are we doing again?
Yeah, I mean,
so the red one and the it did. I mean, I'm gonna need YouTube wouldn't have been able to help me. I don't think that's where my mind went. Is I don't think I could have done it.
Well, and we're probably assuming that, like, oh, it's a criminal thing. Maybe he works in an auto shop and he knows, hey, sometimes when stuff happens and someone brings me a car, or I've just seen people with their car broken on the side of the road, or they had to roll it and they lost the keys, and that's how they know it. We don't have to assume it's all ill will. Maybe there was like a general reason why he knew, or so maybe he was working to be emergency services and they tell him, like, hey, if you ever have this situation and you need to find a bus or a vehicle, here's how you do it to save lives. Who knows?
Yeah. I was traveling recently. I mean, I pulled up to a gas station and I looked at the pump and it said $250 for gas. Someone got 50 gallons and it cost them $250. What I would clutch my pearls. What say you, Polly, if you had to pay $250 every time you went to the gas pump?
Honestly, I don't think we have a choice nowadays, because all these cars that are fuel efficient. So getting a new car requires you to have a third salary nowadays, right? You either have to have the cash up front, or you have to have phenomenal credit score just to get like a Honda Civic that does not blow your mind, right? It's like basic starter car heroes are no longer basic starter cars. Okay, so there's that. And then great if you can like the whole thing with like miles per gallon highway versus city. Okay, what happens when you're like in between? So like, oh, well, if you're driving on this, you got 39, but if you're driving here, it's 21. that's a big range. 18 miles of gallons of a difference. I mean, you can't shop around with gas like you can with shoes. You can be like, okay, who has the better sale? All right, this is $20 cheaper. With gas, like, oh, well, there's, I can save 30 cents per gallon if I drive 10 miles, but it's out of the way. So if that's the vehicle they have, they may not have any other options. I mean, that hurts, but you gotta do something. You don't have a choice.
Let's talk about emotions. Should Drake be emotional? Should we feel bad that we rocked with him, but we liked Kendrick Lamar's part, and now we're back rocking with Drake and his music?
No, we shouldn't feel bad, but you know what? Drake can be whoever he wants to be. If the emotions is what keeps him relevant and circulating, right? Oh, he's emotional. We still go listen to his 5 million albums, and we still, make fun of Hotline Bling when it comes out. But then his new stuff, we're like, oh, that's a good line. Like that's why he's still out there, right? He hasn't failed. He's still selling music. He's still right. Remember, he was 25, sitting on 25 mil. Like, he's still good. He's probably sitting on a lot more now. No, I don't feel bad. Just laugh and keep it moving.
Remember I told you I was traveling?
Yeah.
I went to the Obama President Center. Yo, Polly. This ain't a political podcast, but I'm gonna tell you something that I like. I'm tired of like what I like, right?
Yeah.
I liked how diverse it was. Yo, it was like the Martin Luther King dream. There was people of every shade and color standing together in lines to get in. I was there on his birthday. I didn't intend that, but I was there for his birthday. So it was lines and packed. A lot of stuff was sold out. And I'm not making this a popularity contest either. I'm not making it political or a popularity contest with any other presidential libraries. I've been to a couple, but again, this one had a line. This one was very diverse. This one looked like it was having a lot of fun. And I mean, it looked like an amusement park. And that is what I like. It was a cool visit.
Good.
Would you go to Chicago just to go see a presidential center?
Just for that, no. I'm not. I know there are a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm going to go here just for that. I need to have a multitude of reasons to, like, if I'm going, if I was there for a conference, I think that'd be more relevant for me. If I was there for a conference and I had time, then I would, but it wouldn't be like, oh, that's the reason. Like, I don't go to cities because I need to check out a museum. That's not what I do. But, that's what some people might do.
All right. So, Polly, I know you West Coast. It's still early in the day. It's earlier for you than it is for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm banging out here in the East Coast. But we're going to talk a little folklore, and I hope this doesn't give you nightmares tonight.
Okay.
Koshchei the Deathless, a legendary villain from Slavic folklore, hid his death inside a needle sealed within an egg, a duck, a hare, an iron chest, and finally buried beneath a great oak on the mythical island of Buyan.
Okay.
Only by finding the needle and breaking it could a hero finally defeat the seemingly immortal sorcerer. If you could hide one weakness where no one could ever find it, would you? And what do you think the consequences would be?
No, I'd hide it and no consequences because nobody would know about it.
It's so funny you say that because I think in the very first Superman movie, someone can correct me on this, with Christopher Reeve, I think he made that mistake when he was finally talking to Lois Lane. He said, well, yeah, I mean, I guess I do have, there's some pieces from my planet, something like that, affect me. But, and bro, you just told everybody your weakness. What?
I wouldn't tell him. Like, that's why I hate when people ask, like, list your strengths and your weaknesses. Why? That's for you to figure out. And then
I would do all the work for you.
And then they always are like, okay, what's your weakness? And then what are you going to do to improve upon it? And then it's like, pick 3 weaknesses. Why do I have to have 3? Why can't I just have 1? Or why, like, what am I going to do to prove it? I don't know. That's for you to figure out too. Like, can we accept that everybody has weaknesses and everyone has flaws, and we don't necessarily need to sit and kumbaya about it? Like, okay, if I tell you, and what?
Here's my weakness. I lie about my weaknesses to dumbasses who ask it. So yeah, that's my weakness. I mean, whatever I tell you, it doesn't matter, because I'm either going to tell it to you and end it with a positive spin if I know what I'm doing, or I'm going to tell you and what? Oh, now you agree with me? You've never noticed it. You thought I was amazing, but since I told you that, yeah, now you want to bounce.
Exactly.
I think that's a little dumb.
Yeah, or it's like, hey Google, here are my strengths. What are some weaknesses that don't make me look as like a bad person, but still make me confident enough to do my job, that are a good idea to tell whoever's asking, right?
Yeah. I always made it positive. It ended on a positive. Yeah, I look for the good in people. Man, that's a downfall. I shouldn't do that. I know there's got to be some bad people, but not me. I'm always looking for the good in people. That's my weakness. What did that tell you about me? You see how hokey that sounds? It don't even sound real. So that's what I'm saying. My weakness is that I don't want to play the strength weakness game with dumbasses. I'm out. Y'all can interview the next dude. Wasting my time with that question. It's a lazy layup question to ask. I ain't never asked nobody that. And there was some that I did hire and fire for some jobs. And if that was up there, that's why there's a script.
I think it's weird to ask like a person, like, what do you want to accomplish? Not even, I don't know, or what do you, something like that. That's more, hey, what can I do? Or, oh, I want to, and then they can tell them their weakness. But talking about, what are your weaknesses? I don't want to tell you. I'm trying to hide them.
Nope.
Oh.
Jose Nunez Romanis found a bag containing $135,000 outside a Wells Fargo ATM in Albuquerque.
Ooh.
Instead of keeping it, he called the bank and police, leading to the money being returned to its rightful owner. His honesty his honesty earned him several rewards. A job opportunity, and proved that doing the right thing can change your life. Wait. I know. Hold on. If you found $135,000 with no one around, what would you do? And do you think honesty always pays off?
Did he get any money, first of all?
No, he didn't get nothing serious. Nothing serious. Like a $50 gift card? What are we doing?
Like,
and because he was so honest, they offered him a job to like join the cadet program so he could become a security officer.
Well, let me say, so when we find a $20 bill on the street, do we all look for its owner?
Nah, don't nobody go look for the owner. I don't care.
So if I found a bag that was not identified, I'm taking that home, and then I'm waiting to hear if anyone's looking for it. But if nobody's looking for it, I'm keeping it.
Yo, it's gone, Polly. It's gone. Well, I can't even say it fast. Gone.
Well, I mean, because it's different. Like, we if somebody leaves a wallet, okay, there's an ID, but people always take the cash. Like, okay, I wouldn't do that. But if it's, people leave stuff all the time. Why do we assume it's the banks? Maybe it didn't make it to the bank. Maybe it's not the banks, and we just gave it to a criminal, the bank, who kept it as theirs.
I don't think there's a such thing as insurance. I don't know if they're getting that back through insurance. But either way, anything less than giving him 50% of what he found is an insult.
Isn't it what? Finders, keepers, losers, weepers?
Yes, it is.
There's also, like, sometimes if it's lost property, it eventually can become yours.
Give him that amount of money and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why some people would not. Because they say, oh, you're going to punish me for doing the right thing.
I would want a job. I would want that money, so then I don't need a job for at least a year or something like, or two, or I don't have to stress about my job. But no, I'll take it.
Yo, Polly, how many times you've been to Vegas?
A couple times.
You seem like the party type. I know for y'all out there from Los Angeles, what, maybe a 3-hour ride to get to Las Vegas, something like that?
Something like that.
Okay. Your bachelor party, who is the one surprise person that you were inviting to it? And it could be anyone dead or alive. And, you know, it's in Vegas. It's the expenses on Talking with Donato podcast. So your budget is limitless because you know I'm a baller. So who is the one person you're inviting? It could be anyone dead or alive, but a surprise person.
Nobody. I'm keeping that money.
That's a surprise.
That money. How much are you paying me to bring them? I can go get some fine wine, some fine drinks with whoever I already have. I don't need a stranger. It's my day, not their day. And then just get some more massages, mani-pedis. I don't need no new friends.
You did the right thing.
Good.
You realize what I said, that you get unlimited money. Man, the whole weekend is bigger than one person. And I like what you said. Get the events in for the people you already have. So the 8 to 12 people you got in your little wedding party, they balling. But we brought one person who they're probably side-eyeing the entire time, like, because most people would pick a big name, right, or a big person who would take all the air out of the room. That's talking about rich people.
Well,
so he is someone that someone brings to their bachelorette party, but this is just the example. He's taking all of the attention and not on you.
Exactly. Because most people would probably say, I'm sure their first instinct is a celebrity.
Yeah.
And people are just going to be so focused on the celebrity, and especially however many people you have, or they might be a hater on the celebrity. So it's just not for this event. It's not worth it. I would just say, hey, here's unlimited money. What are you going to do? Type of thing. Right?
No, I liked it. You zeroed in. You got your priorities straight in life. You don't get caught up by the glamour and the glitz. That's why we rock with you, Polly. That's why we rock with you.
Perfect.
All right. A 72-year-old Bosnian man spent 6 years building a fully rotating house so his wife could see every view around them. The home spins from a slow 24-hour rotation to a wild 22-second full turn if you wanted to. It's inspired by Tesla and Putin. What does this story make you think about the links people go to for love, creativity, or simply being understood?
Why?
He did it for love, Polly.
No,
Don't you believe in love?
He probably thought that was like a cool. It was like probably a pet project. Like, I'm not doing that. It's a waste of my time.
The whole house spins.
Listen, you know what he could have done? Put her in a car and they could drove around the house.
But now she could sip tea on her little porch every time. Watch the sun comes up all year round. Because we rotate and
she better be waking up early to enjoy that, and she better actually be enjoying all those features. Because last thing I want to hear is somebody, well, she's never home.
I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right. That would. Yeah. What if she's a workaholic?
Did you build that for me? I'm not saying half that stuff. I'm just trying to find where do I get into the house? Where are my steps to get into the house?
Appreciate you.
Rotating.
McDonald's closed its doors in Iceland in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
And one customer saved a final burger and fries meal that astonishingly never decomposed. Today, it sits perfectly preserved in a glass case at a southern Iceland hostel. The meal hasn't molded because it simply dried out in the cold. Low humidity environment. And you can even watch it on a live stream. How does this immortal McDonald's meal change the way we think about food, preservation, and the stories objects carry over time?
I don't think it's gonna change much, because the crunchy moms who are all into like fresh stuff and organic, and it's got to be farm to table, and I have to chase my chickens, cut their heads off, and actually get the eggs. They feel that way either way. People who love a good I don't know what burger or fries, insert whatever choice they think is good from McDonald's, they're going to keep eating it. We can still complain about pesticides and all this stuff. People have to get fed. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it might be like, wow, that's eye-opening. But for this to be like, I'm going to vow never to eat fast food or junk again, you're probably not eating it to begin with. So it's not going to change anything for you. Just like the people who are vegan or vegetarian, you hearing about how they treat animals in the slaughterhouse, you're still going to be vegan and vegetarian. It's not going to change you. So it's like, cool. I want to know, what did they actually do to keep preserving it for 25 years? Because I'm sure they got to have put something on to keep bugs and stuff away.
No, the glass case keeps the bugs out.
Yeah, but you're saying the glass case went
in Iceland. Huh?
You're saying the glass case went on the day after he got the burger?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. That's sus. I think
sounds like someone's got to watch the live stream and then get in the comments.
I will. I'm gonna check,
and then y'all get back to us and let us know what you think after you watch your live
stream isn't going to help me. It's going to tell me show me the present.
No, I'm sure there's going to be some people in the comments that have your same opinion, and y'all will talk it out with others who have been watching it for a lot longer than you have, because you just found out about it.
Display. Okay. Googled.
Edgar McGregor proved that consistency can transform an entire community, turning a simple daily promise into a massive environmental impact. His 589-day mission shows how ordinary persistence can inspire extraordinary change. What drives someone to commit to a mission every single day, even when no one is watching?
So what did he do?
I didn't say what he did. I just said how consistently he did it.
But he didn't.
For his entire community.
He quit after 570 days.
If I remember correctly, see, I got to shrink these down, Polly.
Did he die?
Polly, I got to shrink these down so we can get it in.
Let's go.
I'm going to break the fourth wall. Y'all see what she's doing? No, but Polly, if I remember correctly, he was digging a well, and he just kept digging, and he did find a well to help his village, if I remember correctly. But
he didn't have an architect.
I have this confused with something else. There was also another guy that for 589 days cleaned a lot up, and eventually he helped his community with that. So it's one of the two. Remember, the name is Edgar McGregor. Y'all get at me if you want a little extra. Polly, I already can see by your comment and your face, you ain't committing to a mission every single day, even when no one is watching, to help your entire community because you made a promise.
I recycle.
Well, this is a massive environmental impact. And like I said, I think this is what he did. He cleaned like a lot out.
I mean, good for him. He had time. He doesn't work. He doesn't have kids. He's not married. Probably one of those, if not all of them. Or that was part of his job, or he has no hobbies and that's what he did. I mean, no, I'm not impressed. Because you know what? Every day of our lives, we should be doing something that enhances our community. And our community could be me, myself, and I.
Mm-hmm.
Me, myself, and my household. Or my block. So it's not impressive. No.
We talked about Usher and Chris Brown earlier. A concert goer went viral after an awkward moment on stage with Usher, later explaining she wasn't actually trying to curb him. She was just caught off guard because she expected to be paired with a different artist. Her reaction sparked a wave of debate online about fan expectations, stage interactions, and how quickly a split-second moment can blow up. What does this situation reveal about the pressure fans feel when suddenly thrust into the spotlight alongside a major artist?
That's why there are fans and they are fans and not performers. They can't handle the limelight. They can't handle the 5 seconds of fame. You know, some people could be a fan, and I don't know why she was selected. Maybe she didn't say no, or she said no, or she was like, "Oh, this is harmless," but. Fans are weird. Fans are weird, just like people are weird.
No, to your point, I believe that. I believe that she could have done a lot of things to say no. And I also think she could have been a better sport about it.
Yeah.
For the show, because you do make it awkward. So, but that's about social IQ. That's about
like if you wanted, you said it was for the Chris Brown Usher performance, right? So, okay, you want to be on stage, so you know it's going to be a performer.
Mm-hmm.
And then it has to be a particular performer. Like you don't ask questions.
She's loyal to Chris Brown, and she didn't want Chris to see her enjoying Usher so much.
He doesn't care. That's why he pays. He gets $1,000 for photo ops for his fans. He does not care. So that's. I mean, it's not any of the performer's fault. That's her. Read the room. Then don't volunteer to go on that stuff if you're not comfortable or guaranteed. And like, if someone was like, "Hey, there's going to be an artist on stage," and if I'm at a random concert where these are like unknown artists, and I'd be like, I look at it and I was like, I don't know any of these artists, and they're like, "You want to go on stage?" No, I'm good. But somebody else would be like, I want to go on stage because I don't care who it
is. So there's a guy. He's an actor. His name is Alan Richardson. He's known for being big. He plays a lot of imposing guys, characters. He finally addressed the viral story about his dispute with a neighbor, explaining that the confrontation escalated because the man approached him aggressively and wouldn't back down. The public reaction has been split. Some people feel uneasy because of Alan's imposing size, while others think he simply defended himself against someone who initiated the conflict. What does this situation reveal about how celebrity physicality and public perception influence whether people support or criticize a star during a real-world confrontation?
Yeah, because people are just used to them like their acting personas. Right. So if someone's always playing an idiot, they're always going to perceive him as idiot. Like when people see Adam Sandler, like he's like, this guy doesn't have his life put together in half the movie he plays in. He's a goofball. He may not be a goofball and he might have his life together in real life, but if they see him, they're gonna be like, oh, that guy's not gonna fight. He has no fighting abilities. But then whereas if it's someone who was like, well, now The Rock sings, so now he has multiple personas. But if you were to see him, like he's all big and the king of whatever his Maui job is. So like those two get inflated because people don't realize that like that's why it's called acting. And then they always want to assume that like actors can take the high road. Actors are real people too, and sometimes they're bad people. That's just how it is sometimes. But again, it's always the fans here, like having this idea of who people are, or what people should owe them, or what things should be like. It's not fair.
Polly, you roll up on somebody, you deal with whatever you get. And if they are more imposing than you, if they are more in shape than you, if they are younger than you, and that was the case for all three of these, well, you the dumbass that rolled up. I mean, let's be honest.
What do you expect from rolling up? Also, as a celebrity, someone in the limelight, you're probably having more instances where you have to defend yourself from crazy fans who are like, oh, I want to touch your sweat. Oh, I want to pull a piece of your hair out. Oh, that follicle looks so good. So how does he know that like this person wasn't trying to do any of that? Like if someone like
Polly, I am never, ever going to tell anybody to roll up on somebody or get into someone's personal space. And if this gentleman was well over 40, if you are over the age of 18 and at no point in your life you learned what personal space is, well, now we back to those parents that we started the show with that couldn't contain their kid and isn't teaching the kid anything. And obviously the parent doesn't realize social cues either, which is the blind leading the blind. Well, you get up in somebody's personal space, they can feel threatened. That allows them to hit you. It's open to interpretation.
So it's funny because like I think in school, I know one of my kids, they were talking about personal space, and then sometimes like my kids, I have to remind them, hey, right, we talk about personal space as a reminder because kids like don't realize it. But if they're homeschooled, they probably don't understand personal space. And then, I always have this issue where I'm in the grocery store on those unfortunate occasions and somebody's breathing down my back.
Nah.
And I'm keeping a distance from the person behind me. And then I step forward. And then as a hint that I need some space. And then the person steps closer to me. And it frustrates me because it's like, I don't want you breathing down my back. I don't want you close to me. I like personal space. I don't want people touching me. That's how it is. And so same thing, right? And when people get up close, like, I don't want to see your spit. I don't want to smell your breath. You stand there, I stand here. That's it. But unfortunately, they probably never learned and failed to learn.
Oh, he learned today. He rolled up and like I said, got smacked around a good little bit. Because a lot of times people will say, "Oh, you overdid it," but no, it's your fault if you roll up on somebody, you spook them, or you get them unhappy. He learned. Let's go to sports.
Let's go.
LeBron James's hypothetical move. So this was even before he officially said it. LeBron James's hypothetical move to Philadelphia sparked instant fan frenzy, with his 76ers jersey reportedly selling out in just 2 hours. The reaction underscores how his brand power can shift an entire market overnight. What does LeBron's ability to shift culture, business, and team identity all at once reveal about the evolving power of modern athletes?
I mean, well, yeah, modern athletes, only because there are now more ways to advertise, target, sell things. But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, if an athlete's been around for a while, you've heard of him, right? Whereas if this is what, his fourth team now, his fourth NBA team. You're the
Yes.
the fourth team, right? If this was someone going to his fourth team in the first 4 years or less of his season, nobody cares. But it's the fact that there's a bunch of other layers and that he left. Is his son coming with him, or his son is still set to stay in LA?
Son's gonna stay in LA.
Yeah, so there's that added fee. So there's like multitude of layers going on in the situation. And listen, we don't know how much longer he's going to play. So if he's coming to your team, let's do it. Let's ride the bandwagon. Now maybe 76ers game might be more interesting again. Who knows? But yeah, it's also because it was able to be talked about more often. Because let's take it 10, 20 years, 30 years ago, you're having less venues of talking about it, but now it's instant. It's right there. You don't have to wait to go watch a game and get a jersey, right? You don't have to go and wait until the local stores you can go on Amazon, eBay, you can make a fake one. It's a lot faster to get that out there. But it's just, I don't want to call it hype, but that's just how the market rolls nowadays.
Yeah. In 1956, university student Barry Larkin pulled off one of history's greatest pranks by carrying a fake Olympic torch through a crowd of 30,000 people in Sydney, fooling police and even the city's mayor before the real torch arrived. Armed with nothing more than a silver-painted chair leg, a plum pudding can, and kerosene-soaked underwear, he turned an Olympic ceremony into a legendary hoax. Was Barry Larkin's fake Olympic torch run a harmless prank that made history? Or did he cross the line by hijacking such a major international event?
No, it's a good prank because who should have known about this? The people you mentioned, security, mayor, right? Back then, weren't people supposed to say, oh, this individual, where he's starting, where he's arriving, we should be waiting for these people on what day? So to let something so big fly under the radar, that's a mistake on all the people responsible for the event. That's good job for him. He went down in history.
I just love it. And a little more inside, he was not supposed to be the guy. There was someone else that was doing it, but that person got cold feet. So he grabbed it and it's like, no, this has to happen. And so the picture of him doing it he's in like some khakis running, which again should have been a pretty good sign. So what he did was he showed up. I think they gave him like the key to the city. And then while everyone else, all the hoopla was going up, he just faded back, left, went and jumped on the bus and left.
No.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Would you ever go to Sweden?
Yeah, I would.
Sweden now sends less than 1% of household waste to landfills. And it even imports trash from neighboring countries to fuel their waste-to-energy plants that heat more than half its homes and generate about 10% of its electricity.
Yeah.
Its recycling system has become a global model for turning waste into energy while reducing landfill use. Should more countries follow Sweden's waste-to-energy model, or are there better long-term solutions for managing waste sustainably?
Well, the question is, can other countries, do they have the infrastructure to do so? And then do they have the same amount of waste to do it? I think that's like, if you don't have that, then like it's great when you have a model, but it doesn't make sense when that model can't be followed because of the mechanics to implement the model don't exist, right? Like, so you could have a great model for how you do your podcasts and how you like send out gear.
Yeah.
But if I don't have a podcast and I don't have talking with Donato gear, then like I can't, or if I don't have the computer system for my own podcast, then it just doesn't make sense. So I don't think it's fair to be like, oh, you should be like this, even though it's like, well, I wouldn't even know where to start to get all that. But good on Sweden for finding a system and then, helping other countries with their waste as well.
No doubt.
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Andrew Carlton says the biggest problem in American soccer isn't youth development. It's that MLS clubs invest in young foreign talent while many promising American prospects spend their key development years on the bench. Drawing from his own career, he argues that the United States men's national team won't consistently produce world-class players until young Americans get meaningful first-team minutes. Do you think MLS should prioritize developing young American players, or is signing the best international talent the right way to grow the league and improve the U.S. men's national team?
I think right now it's you have to chase that international talent, because if it doesn't exist domestically, you can't get it. But if there's an interest in the claiming the men's team, even though it's not all American in the sense that, it's not everyone domestically raised, well, at least it gets people hyped until that population exists. You can't be like, oh, I'm going to start growing corn, but you don't have any corn kernels from somewhere else. So to be homegrown, you at least have to start manufacturing the environment for it. And then hopefully then one day soccer can become more accessible and we can get more of people, because it's not like I'm sure we have the talent. It's just, how do we find that? It's also like, if you're going to get people from Europe, those countries are smaller. And so the concentration of their football programs, I imagine, are also more concentrated. Whereas here you got 50 different states, you got regions and districts, and it can become harder to find the talent if the parents aren't paying millions of dollars and then sticking to just one sport.
Remember, people, America chose to have 50 states. Canada, look at the size of Canada, look at the size of America. And they chose to have 8 provinces. I mean, they made them long. See, we wanted this representation. Let me give y'all a quick history lesson. We wanted representation. So we wanted more Republican seats. So you needed more states. So that's why we chopped it up. It was to our advantage. And that's why we made ourselves this diluted. And so that's why the organizations won't mirror. Do you think North Dakota and South Dakota should have their own programs? Nah, they should be one program, which would be more efficient, to your point, Polly. But no, we want to stay doing this one. This one's got its own organizations. I was just at the AAU Junior Olympics, and the AAU Junior Olympics is totally different from USA track and field. And so if they're not going to come together, there are going to be two different experiences going on, and it's not joined, it's diluted. So I agree with you.
And it's a question of like, okay, great, we don't want to have monopolies in certain things, but then right, so like, okay, so when we have two organizations that essentially do very similar things, but you probably can't do both. You have to pick one, and then you have to hope that you pick the right one that feeds you into it. So like even with every state, right? Okay, so soccer, great, fantastic. We cared about it in the US because the World Cup was here, or people were like, oh, or they still don't care. And now there's all this uproar about how we need to develop soccer. Okay, but like what states are playing soccer? Because what is if I say Texas, what's the first sport that comes to mind?
Football.
Okay. And anyone in the SEC, any state in the SEC, what are those kids probably playing first and foremost?
Probably football.
Okay. You go to California. California is not a football state. They will never be a football state. Okay.
I agree.
And so what sports are they good at? What is they dabble in a little bit of everything. It depends where they are.
Yeah.
You think maybe Oregon, home of track, right? So they're probably going to be a little bit more invested than other parts. But again, like I don't know what South Dakota, North Dakota, Wyoming, Montana. I'm not sure what sports they're doing in there, because I imagine there's not a whole lot of time to do outdoor sports. And then you get into that, like, do you have the venue? So these football stadiums that decide that, oh, I'm in the north, I have cold winters, but I don't have a closed stadium. If you don't have a closed stadium in freezing weather, I highly doubt you have indoor stadiums for other sports, because you're just like, oh, tough luck, good job. Okay, nobody's playing soccer on ice.
No, you missing out on money.
So we just have this like great divide, and I'm all for every sport, kids should have the ability. But yeah, if you have to get a decent soccer training program and you have to commit 2 hours away because the local club sucks and the decent one is far away, but then they also play like, oh, well, your kid's 12, so that's $3,000 a year for what? I don't even know if you're good, not counting every single tournament fee. And you can go all that with baseball, with softball. Don't even make me start on swimming, which should be a fundamental life function, but it seems it's like, oh, you want to have swimming for a 30-minute swimming class, which really is only like 24 minutes of swimming, and we're going to charge you $95 per session for what? Half that time is spent, a child is just getting acclimated into the water. But okay, swimming survival becomes a luxury and not
a necessity.
Yeah, a necessity. So there's a lot with sports that's wrong, and that's why when NIL is a thing, hey, compensate the people who had to go through this stuff to figure out how to get to decent training so they could be where they are today.
I agree.
Basically compensate the parents and their sacrifices.
American magician William Ellsworth Robinson spent nearly 20 years convincing audiences he was the silent Chinese illusionist Chung-Ling Soo. His famous defying the bullets trick fatally malfunctioned in 1918, and his final words in English revealed the secret identity he had hidden for decades. How far should entertainers go to stay in character, and when does protecting the illusion become too much?
So why of all moments did it fatally went wrong when he spoke in English and revealed himself?
Oh, so the trick had always worked.
Okay.
But on this day, when the gun was shot, it shot him for real instead of missing him. And then he said, oh, I've been shot. Good grief.
Shooting him.
And he didn't sound like Chung-Ling Soo, because before, he never spoke before, and it was understood that he was Chinese and couldn't speak English.
Who was shooting him?
He had assistants.
Like the system must have been like, I'm tired of this shit. Let's just keep it. Let's end it right here. And why do fake bullets not like we couldn't take the gunpowder out.
Like that's why you'll take a fake shot and show people, you see, I just penetrate the slab. We're using real bullets here, people. And he's been doing this for 20 years. So he was very famous, very popular.
It's time to retire. But I mean, if you want to hide your persona, you know, that's on you. Just like people who write and they have a pen name instead of revealing who they are.
Yeah. Many fans thought Spanish footballer Mark Cucurella's long hair was just his signature look, but it's widely shared that he grew it so his autistic son could easily recognize him during matches. Whether or not every detail of the story is accurate, it has resonated because of the powerful message about family.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the meaningful sacrifices or personal choices parents make that often go unnoticed by everyone else?
Yeah, I mean, that could be like, you know, when you deciding that you're going to eat their leftovers, like, or you're going to eat crusts, right? If there's a peanut butter or jelly sandwich that you make and they don't like the crust, but you don't waste food, then maybe that's you eating those crusts. Or you always, I mean, the classic one is like the moms are never going to get their hot coffee because everyone's always going to need something. Like eating, you know, it could be eating last. It could be like getting the last of something. It could be, you know, not being able to enjoy your favorite drink because, you know, if you go into Starbucks, everyone's going to want a cake pop, even though you were not going to walk away, you know, or knowing like, man, I really want a slushie or a milkshake, but I could be selfish and do it. Or I know if they're all going to want one, it's going to cost more and they're not going to finish it. So it's like deciding like, is this worth it right now? Or is this something that I just figure out how to get later? You know?
Dang, Polly, you got us all checking ourselves right now. Like, hey, I'm going to have to go check with my lady next time and see if she's getting some hot coffee. And I mean, yeah, but I normally try to wait and eat when she eats. If she does something for me, unless she says, no, go ahead and start. Okay, well, since you told me, but I try to wait. So if hers is cold, I want mine to be cold too. But okay, I'm gonna check myself before I wreck myself. Thanks for relationship help. I don't think we got what you were talking about. I know me personally, I was like, damn, man, I hope I'm taking care of my queen. All right, Shakira. She's become the unofficial soundtrack of the World Cup. She's performed at 4 tournaments over 2 decades, and she returned for the 2026 opening ceremony and the final halftime show. Mm-hmm. Fans joke she's cryogenically frozen between World Cups because she seems to never age. What makes an artist become so closely tied to a global event that it feels incomplete without them?
Yeah, I guess if you're a good fit, you're a good fit. I'm trying to think of somebody else who... Oh, I got one. Sunday Night Football. Yes. Right? Who sings the anthem? They might not know it, but you all hear that song coming up, right?
Yes.
She's been singing that for how long? And that's just tied to it. So that's if it works, it works. Kind of like if it's not broke, don't fix it. So yeah, if Shakira is still able and ready for the next one, keep it going. I mean, because it also seems like it's not a dividing front, as in people seem to like her music, her style, or like, yeah, I can vibe with this, and it gets everyone going. So,
it's
in more World Cups than her ex. So there's that too. We got to keep it going. How many can she get into?
Who's her ex?
He's I forget what country, but he's a soccer player.
Oh.
And she's been in more World Cups than he has.
And she loves it. And they kept showing her a lot in her little luxury box too.
Oh, there you go.
Polly.
Yes.
We appreciate you rocking with us. We're about to end season 3. Got a couple more episodes between now and then. And spoiler alert, You gonna join us for our live event for the 4th season opening?
Yes. Are we peeping that info out to the public?
Yeah. We just it's at the end, so they gotta listen to the whole episode to know about this.
Okay.
I'm not gonna clip this as a short to put out. So thank you, Polly, and thanks for talking with Donato.
I will be there.